The more you chase something, the more it seems to run from you. Whether it's that dream job, a soulmate, or a personal goal, the harder you strive, the more elusive it becomes. Strange, isn't it? What if the secret to getting what you want is to stop trying so hard to grasp it? It sounds like a paradox, but it holds deep truth. Ram Dass, the beloved American spiritual teacher and psychologist, often shared stories that turned conventional thinking upside down. One of his most powerful teachings came from a simple tale in India. He described how villagers trap monkeys. They place nuts inside a jar with a narrow neck. The monkey reaches in, grabs the nuts, but can't pull its hand out unless it lets go. And it won't. The monkey clings desperately and traps itself. Ram Dass saw in this a profound truth: attachment is what causes our suffering. Freedom comes not from acquiring more, but from releasing what we're gripping too tightly. So ask yourself, are you stuck with your hand in the jar? Are you holding on to relationships, habits, or expectations that no longer serve you, yet you just can't let them go? Here's the catch: knowing this isn't enough. You have to feel it, live it, shift your perspective. Let it go is more than a phrase, it's a practice. But what does that really mean? Think of the monkey again. His pain didn't come from wanting the nuts, but from refusing to let them go when needed. That moment of release is the doorway to liberation. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It's not about giving up your dreams, passions, or people you love. On the contrary, true detachment means fully engaging with life, but without letting your happiness depend on any one outcome. It's about choosing presence over possession, peace over control, freedom over fear. And when you master that, what you once chased may come to you effortlessly. The Bhagavad Gita, a famous spiritual text, contains tremendous knowledge on this subject. Krishna teaches Arjuna that genuine detachment entails acting well for its own purpose, without regard for success or failure. It's about being passionately immersed in life without being wedded to the results. Detachment is also not the same as carelessness or inactivity. Instead, it's a skill that imbues your activities with dignity and grace. It's about letting go of your cravings and realizing that your worth and joy do not depend on them being satisfied. Think about it. How many times have you pursued something with all your might only to feel empty once you've achieved it? Or worse, feel like you're still not enough? Detachment allows you to recognize that your actual well-being and pleasure stem from within, not from external validations or things. Take a time to contemplate before we proceed. What are you urgently hanging on to that is bringing you pain? Simply being aware is the first step towards freedom. This journey is more than just theoretical. It is transforming, and it all starts with understanding and letting go. Stage 1. The role of acknowledgement. Now that we've established a core understanding of detachment, let's move on to the first level of practice. This stage is critical because before we can let go, we must be completely aware of what we are holding on to. Acknowledgement begins with noticing your feelings and attachments without passing judgment. Often we believe that simply expressing our wishes or losses makes us weak or vulnerable. However, in actuality, it is the first step toward independence. When we realize we are attached to something, whether it is a person, a goal, or an object, we have a better understanding of the true nature of our attachment and its hold on us. Let's put this in context with an example that many of us can relate to. Assume you're looking for a promotion at work. You're so focused on this objective that it dominates your thoughts and actions. You begin to feel concerned, wondering if you're doing enough or if your boss noticed your extended hours. This anxiousness is indicative of your strong attachment to the outcome. Acknowledgement here entails pausing to examine these feelings. Ask yourself why this promotion is so essential to you. How do I feel in my body while I think about it? You may experience tension in your shoulders, a knot in your stomach, or a racing heart. These physical sensations are a result of your attachment. To begin the recognition process, select a quiet place and take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes and think about the thing you're attached to. Take note of any emotions or bodily responses that arise. Do not judge or push them away. Just observe. Simply identifying your sentiments can diminish their intensity, making them simpler to understand and eventually release. You may discover that your motivation for the promotion stems from a desire for validation or a fear of inadequacy. Understanding the underlying emotions may be both instructive and empowering. Acknowledgement is about accepting your current state of mind without opposition. You're not attempting to modify your feelings, but rather to acknowledge them. This brings us to the next essential stage. Stage 2 is self-inquiry and understanding your attachments. After you've acknowledged your emotions, it's time to go deeper. This level entails researching the origins of your attachments. Simply defined, it is about asking the proper questions to discover why you are so attached to specific wants or outcomes. Self-inquiry helps you peel back the layers of your emotions, revealing the underlying reasons behind your attachments. Let us return to our example of the promotion. Through self-inquiry, you may discover that your desire for this work promotion is more than just for professional improvement. It could be meeting an unmet demand for acknowledgement from your childhood. To start self-inquiry, ask yourself open-ended questions. Why do I want this so bad? What do I hope to gain from attaining this? What worries arise in me if I fail to do this? How could my life change if I let go of this need? These questions inspire contemplation and reveal underlying motivations. For example, you may realize that your desire for the promotion stems from a fear of not being good enough, which could be rooted in previous experiences of not receiving praise or recognition. Self-inquiry also includes monitoring the stories you tell yourself. Frequently, our imaginations fabricate stories about why we require something to be happy or successful. These stories can be strong and persuasive, but they are frequently based on past conditioning or cultural expectations, rather than our own aspirations. Consider the inner child's effect, in which unmet needs push us to seek validation through outward accomplishments or relationships. Becoming aware of these habits is an important step toward disconnecting. Remember that self-inquiry is a continuous process rather than a one-time event. As you regularly question and investigate your attachments, you will begin to notice patterns and connections. This increased awareness enables you to progressively loosen the grip these attachments have on you. Combining acknowledgement and self-inquiry creates a strong foundation for separation. You start to grasp not only what you're clinging on to, but why. This knowledge enables you to connect your actions with your genuine values and desires, making it easier to release what no longer serves you. Stage 3. Attachments are currently being processed. Now that we've acknowledged our attachments and delved deeply into self-inquiry, it's time for the next step. This stage is about coming to terms with our feelings and experiences, which allows us to start releasing the emotional baggage they contain. Processing attachments entails realizing that every experience, whether successful or unsuccessful, is valuable. It is about appreciating the lessons acquired and how these experiences help us evolve. Though this may appear to be a simple task, changing our perspective frequently needs a concerted effort. Assume you've recently left a long-term relationship and are dealing with feelings of loss and sadness. Processing rather of concentrating on the elements assists you in determining what you acquired from the partnership. Perhaps you learned more about your own needs and boundaries, or you found previously unknown facets of yourself. Understanding the broader viewpoint is critical at this level. For example, the Bhagavad Gita teaches us to see our acts and outcomes as part of a bigger divine play. This philosophical approach urges us to be detached from individual outcomes, believing that each experience contributes to a larger design. It serves as a reminder that the journey and growth along the way are what characterize us, not the end result. Self-compassion is also an important aspect of processing. Forgive yourself for any perceived mistakes and acknowledge that you did your best with the knowledge and resources available at the time. By adopting a compassionate mindset, you create a safe environment for yourself to heal and dissolve attachments. This stage of processing helps you break free from the emotional bonds of previous experiences, preparing you for the next step. Stage 4. Taking creative action. Now that you have a deeper, more processed understanding of your attachments, you can begin to take creative action. This stage is about moving on with renewed purpose and energy, free of the neediness that has previously held you back. Creative action entails connecting with your aims and ambitions in a way that seems natural and enjoyable. It is not about pushing outcomes, but rather allowing your activities to be motivated by true enthusiasm and curiosity. When you act from this place, the results generally exceed your expectations because you're no longer bound by fear or the need for approval. Let us examine the example of pursuing a career advancement, this time through the perspective of creative activity. Instead of stressing over receiving a promotion to feel validated, focus on what you enjoy about your job, what projects spark your creativity, and where you can add the most value. By focusing your efforts on your passions and strengths, you can become more productive and valuable to your organization. The promotion may then occur as a natural result of your efforts rather than a desperate attempt. Consider the concept of flow, a condition in which you are completely engrossed and involved in the task at hand. Many psychologists define flow as being so immersed in an activity that nothing else appears to matter. Flow allows you to perform at your best while enjoying the process rather than focusing on the outcome. To cultivate flow, set clear, challenging, but attainable goals. Break huge projects down into smaller, more doable steps. This helps you stay motivated and focused. Eliminate distractions and set aside time for intense work where you may fully connect with your activities. Creating a flow-friendly environment boosts productivity and satisfaction. Another part of creative action is being open to new possibilities. Sometimes the path to your goal does not follow a straight line. Be open to experiment and pivot as needed. Flexibility and adaptability are essential components for taking effective creative action. It's also vital to recognize your accomplishments, no matter how modest. Each step forward represents a triumph, and appreciating this helps to retain momentum. Share your accomplishments with supportive friends and mentors who can motivate and inspire you. Finally, let go of the urge for rapid results. Trust that your efforts will pay off in their own time. This does not imply that you should abandon schedules or objectives, but rather that you remain open to the trip, understanding that each action you take is a step toward your greater goal. Processing your attachments allows you to release emotional obstacles, while creative action enables you to go on with resilience and joy. This dynamic combination prepares you to achieve your goals with a healthy mentality and free of attachment shackles. Stage 5. Embracing freedom. True liberation occurs when the thought of your loss or desired outcomes no longer affects your emotional well-being. In this level, you achieve a sense of release in which your actions and feelings are harmoniously aligned without being bound by attachment. Freedom does not imply that you no longer care about your ambitions or loved ones. Instead, it means you can engage enthusiastically without the pressure of achieving a certain outcome. You are still totally engaged and devoted, but your mind is free of obsessive ideas about success or failure. Consider the case of social activism. Many people strive persistently for justice or environmental sustainability, which are deeply personal issues. Detachment does not imply indifference. Rather, it means fighting passionately for these causes without becoming consumed by rage or frustration when immediate results are not obvious. It entails trusting the process and believing in the worth of your efforts regardless of immediate satisfaction. Self-validation is an important component of embracing freedom. Many times we want external validation to feel worthwhile. When you accept independence, you rely less on external validation and more on your own self-worth. This newfound confidence enables you to act truthfully, creating an inner resilience to criticism and setbacks. Developing an inner dialogue habit is a useful exercise in this context. When you feel yourself becoming overly obsessed with outcomes, remind yourself that you are trying your best and that your worth is not dependent on specific outcomes. This internal reinforcement can lay a firm foundation for self-esteem. Consider the thought of offering to help you develop separation consistently. Offering, as defined by numerous spiritual traditions, entails committing your acts and their effects to a higher purpose or greater good. This can help you keep a balanced viewpoint and let go of your strong attachment to specific outcomes. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna instructs Arjuna to be selfless by devoting the products of his effort to the divine. This practice not only promotes spiritual progress, but it also improves everyday life by minimizing the ego's influence over outcomes. Consider approaching a project or a difficult conversation with the thought, "I offer this action for the greater good." This shift in perspective can relieve stress and encourage a more genuine, focused effort. This also teaches your mind to focus on the process rather than the outcome, making detachment more accessible and natural. In addition, develop a sense of detachment in your relationships with others. When engaging in conversations or interactions, try to be present and real without becoming unduly focused on how the other person perceives you. Practice active listening and compassion. Remembering that each interaction is an opportunity for connection and progress, not a way to affirm your own value. Set intentions in your morning routine, committing your day's actions to a greater purpose. Use reminders such as sticky notes or phone alerts to reconnect with your desire to be unselfish. In the evening, reflect on how you practice detachment and identify areas for improvement. The lovely contradiction here is that letting go of attachment does not result in a loss of experience, but rather a fuller, richer participation in life. It is about living passionately and genuinely without the fear or desperation of achieving specified goals. Begin with tiny steps, identify your emotions, challenge your attachments, process them compassionately, and engage in creative activities that correspond with your genuine desires. Dedicate your actions to a greater goal and enjoy the freedom that comes with detachment. This path is about growth, not perfection. Every step toward dissociation brings greater serenity, joy, and fulfillment. Your journey to freedom and satisfaction begins today with letting go. Please share your thoughts and questions below. We'd love to hear about how you're implementing these concepts in your life. Thank you for watching.